Hello, everyone. My name is Nate Cap, and welcome to the 15th episode of Outcasting. And hopefully, you guys are doing well, and hopefully, you guys are ready to further learn the science of natural law and morality. And today, I'm going to continue from show number 14, where I introduced natural law. So, if you didn't get a chance to listen to that show, I definitely recommend going back and studying that episode. So that way, you'll have a better understanding of what it is that I'm laying out and presenting on this episode. Okay. So for this show, I'm going to cover the transgressions of natural law and then get into objective morality as well as how to learn what a right truly is in nature. And this information that I'm sharing regarding natural law, it is the most important information that any human being could ever possess, that any human being could ever learn and understand and live by and live in accordance to. Not because I say so, but because it is the truth. Okay? This information is to help us become sovereign human beings, which is what we're meant to be. So, this information helps us move in the direction towards freedom, away from man's lowercase l law, okay, which is a fear based control system, okay, with the threat of violence. So, on the last episode, I left you guys with the question, how is it or why is it that we are able to learn moral lessons in reality? And I'm really hoping that you guys contemplated on that question because it is a very deep question. It is a very important question in order to really understand this science better. Okay? So, where do we learn or how do we learn what to do in reality that is either good or bad? So, let's say that you steal something from someone. Okay? Is there anything good that can come from that? Is there anything good that can come from this type of behavior? No matter how big or small the thing that was taken. No, right? I mean, obviously, if you take something, it's because you desired it, which means that, you're probably happy that you got what you wanted, right? But isn't there now someone's property that has been stolen from them? Isn't that someone now with some sort of loss or some sort of suffering as a result? And does their loss or suffering not exist just because you believe that it doesn't exist? No, absolutely not, right? So, no matter how big or small, no matter how valuable or invaluable the thing taken was, that someone has had property stripped from them, right? And without their what? Without their consent, right? So now, what do we call this? What do we call this type of behavior? We call this a wrongdoing. It's a bad behavior. It's a violation of that someone's rights. Someone's rights has been violated as a result of your actions to steal from them, right? So, let's talk about objective morality, the objective difference between right and wrong behaviors, okay? And a lot of people may ask, well, is there such a thing as objective morality? And I think this is a very great question to ask rather than, just believing that morality is subjective or relative, which is what most people actually believe, okay? And this is a very dangerous belief that most people possess. But the truth is, there is such a thing as objective morality, and I'm going to get into that, okay? But one of the reasons that there is objective morality is because we would never learn our lessons in life if there wasn't such a thing. So think about that. That's the question that I'm asking you guys. Okay, that's the question that I left with you guys. We would never learn the lessons in life, especially the moral lessons in life, if we were not bound to objective morality, if there wasn't such a thing as right and wrong. We would never have the need to think twice about stealing or lying or murdering or raping or trespassing or assaulting someone. We would never feel the need to say sorry or feel bad or feel like there's any revenge that we want to take onto others, or we would never feel revenge from other people onto us. But we do feel the need. We do feel the need to feel bad or to feel sorry. And this has nothing to do with whether man's law says so. It has nothing to do with whether a so-called authority figure says so or not. So, how can we truly know what a right and wrong are if there isn't any authority figure who can tell us what they are? So let's start with what we can actually know ontologically or epistemologically in reality. What we can actually know by observing actual knowledge and reality. Okay? So let me ask this question. I'm going to ask this question to you. Is it okay for someone to steal your property, meaning your possessions that you own or your life? No, right? Absolutely, completely no, right? Your life is yours. Your possessions are yours, okay? Because you have ownership. You have ownership over your body. I have ownership over my body. Every individual has ownership over their body, over their possessions, over their property, okay? Their body, my body is my property, your body is your property. Every individual who has a body, that is their property. So, let's look at the 7 ways in which human behavior causes harm in the form of theft. And then I'm going to explain objective right and wrong after that, okay? So, there is murder, there is assault, there is rape, there is theft, there is trespassing, there is coercion, and then there is willfully lying. So, to murder someone is to violently take the life of another. And murdering, when I say murdering, I don't mean, killing. It's not the same as killing, okay? I'm talking about the premeditated, then acted upon behavior to take someone's life without just cause, okay? And then next is rape. And rape is about the violating behavior of relinquishing the sexual consent of another, to violently take to violently take away someone's choice during a sexual encounter, okay? And this is really interesting about rape. When I am talking to someone about objective morality and then get into the topic of rape, I always ask everyone, is rape a wrongdoing? Is it wrong to rape? Everybody says yes. But when I ask the question, okay, so if it is wrong to rape, does that mean that wrong actually exists in nature objectively? And almost everybody says no. Objective morality is not, there is no such thing. That morality is relative. It is what we say is right or wrong. It is what the collective of the people agree that is wrong. That is what most people believe. This is what most people say. And then I say, okay, by that logic, that means that if we all agree, or if the mob, most people agree that a grown man can rape a young child, then that is right. That is what their logic is saying. So when I say this, most people, they do not know how to respond. They change the subject, or they say that there's probably more to it, or that that's not how it works, and it's just their whole belief system just falls apart in that one moment, and their whole ideology is destroyed. But they continue to live that way. They continue to believe that way. So it's very interesting when I hear people trying to say that rape rape is wrong because we all agree that it's wrong, or that most people agree that it's wrong. It's not, has nothing to do with an agreement. It's wrong in nature regardless of an agreement. Okay? That's what we have to understand. It is a disharmony. It is a transgression against natural law, which means it goes against the rights of human beings. Okay? Or sentient beings, which I'm going to get into. Okay? Now, the next transgression is assault. And assault is about a violent attack that takes away the physical well-being of another. It's a physical violation or initiation of violence unto another. Okay? And then the next violation or transgression is theft. And theft is all about taking the property of another. So robbing someone of their possessions that aren't yours to take. Then there is trespassing, which is about violating the security and privacy of another. It's about wrongfully passing beyond the welcome mat, uninvited. It's a violation of property, okay? And then there is coercion, which is about threatening or taking another's choice through violence if not complied with. So basically, if someone's ability to choose to say no and not comply is taken away with the threat of violence in some way or another, this is coercion. This is what it means to be coerced. And lastly, there's willfully lying, which is about taking another's ability to consciously make an informed decision. So willfully withholding correct information or making something up that keeps someone from knowing the truth, which leads to harm. So All 7 of these transgressions are wrongdoings. They are wrong behaviors. Each transgression is a form of theft, which means it's about taking that which isn't yours to take. And supporting any of these wrongdoings is also a wrongdoing. So being a supporter is the ancillary wrongdoing. It's the ancillary transgression of natural law. So if you support any of those transgressions, you are an ancillary, your behavior is an ancillary bad behavior. Now, what is the objective difference between right and wrong? And just to be clear, objective means absolute. Okay? So, I'll start out with, what is a right? A right is correct. It's based in truth. It's moral. And a right is any action or behavior that does not cause or initiate harm unto other sentient beings, which means it aligns with natural law. And sentient means able to perceive or feel. Okay? So, now, a wrong is opposed to a right because, for the obvious, a wrong is incorrect and it is not based in truth. It is immoral. And a wrong is any action or behavior that does cause or initiate harm unto other sentient beings, which means it does not align with natural law. Okay, so a wrongdoing does cause harm to other sentient beings. Now, how do we further understand or how many rights and wrongdoings there are in nature? And remember, I already pointed out that there are 7 wrongdoings, okay? So there's this method called the apophatic method, or the method of apophasis. And apophasis comes from the Greek apo, meaning away from or off, and from the word phanai, meaning to speak. So it's an affirmation through negation, and affirmation is the action of affirming something. And negation is about the opposite of something actual or positive. So the apophatic method is about learning what the negative is in order to understand the positive. So learning what rights are by learning what wrongdoings are or bad behaviors are, right? So we already learned the bad behaviors in nature, in reality, right? So we have, in order to understand or further understand natural law through the apophatic method, we can look at this graph where we see that there are, nearly infinite rights, infinite behaviors of human beings with the capacity to understand the difference between right and wrong, right? And out of those infinite rights, almost infinite rights, there are 7 wrongdoings, and each one of these wrongdoings is a disharmony. They are behaviors that cause harm in nature, in the universe. There are only 7 wrongdoings out of all human behaviors under natural law. So the nearly infinite rights in the universe harmonize with natural law. So you just think about every action that us humans can take in nature, and you will see for yourself that we can do pretty much anything we want because we have nearly infinite rights in nature, because every action that we take that doesn't cause harm is an action that aligns to natural law. Now, having this knowledge really helps us connect to nature. Okay, so you might think, oh, well, there's people out there who don't have this knowledge, but they're really good people. They would never hurt anybody. Well, that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But to not have this knowledge means that we don't have knowledge of the difference between right and wrong. Therefore, we can still be ignorant to what people can do to us, which is really one of the bigger problems in our world. Because we might be, I think most people are nice people, they're good people, they have good intent, but because we don't have the knowledge of natural law or objective morality, we allow others to do harm to us. And we also blindly support those who are doing harm to others. So this knowledge is about awakening ourselves to the reality of slavery. It's about awakening ourselves to the reality that the actions that we take are measured. Okay, so this graph that you're seeing, it's akin to an intelligent measurement within nature. An innate intelligent measurement of nature, because nature is always intelligently measuring our behaviors in reality, because everything is connected. There is no separation except for what's between our two ears and our mind. Okay, so everything is connected. And once we understand this, once we understand the intelligent fabric of the whole universe, that everything is connected through this intelligence, then we will understand this law even deeper. Okay, it's just like gravity. No matter where you go in the world, the law of gravity is always working. It is in everything. It is connecting everything. So we have to understand this natural law as an intelligent measurement of human behavior and the consequences that we get in our life for the behaviors that we perform, whether they be right or wrong. So this is all about learning what rights are by learning the wrongdoings, the apophatic method. Okay, so that is all I have for today, guys, and hopefully you are inspired, and if you have found value in what I've presented, please share and get this information out there. And if you want to learn more about the topics that have been shared on these episodes, you can go to cubbyhole.com, start at podcast number 1, work your way forward. And also you can follow me on Telegram under Outcasting with Nate Cap, where I give weekly updates and weekly videos every Friday. And I try to anyway, if life allows me. But yeah, that's all I have for today, guys. So thank you for listening, and I will see you again soon.